Ndoibias, I got my EB2 green card 2 weeks ago. My attorney filed I-824 for my wife and 2 children concurrently with my approved I-485. And the I-824 is transferred to the National Benefits Center just like my I-485. Do I need I-131? So, you don't need an I-130. Let's just talk about this. So at the beginning of the show, I talked about a case where a spouse had filed an I-130. Well, they needed to file an I-824. The reason they needed to file an I-824 is because they filed for an I-130, but in it they mistakenly said their spouse is going to adjust status when in the United States, apply for a green card in the U.S. When the spouse is overseas, and they should have marked that they're going to do consular processing. And to adjust the case, then they have to file for I-824 to get the USCIS, the U.S. immigration system in the United States, to transfer the case out to the embassy system. Unfortunately, that process could take 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years sometimes. You got to do a lawsuit sometimes. It's such a mess. So for them, I said, yeah, definitely file. I prefer filing a new I-130 and restarting, because it's a much more reliable process having an I-130 approved than an I-824. In your case, they're a little better. Maybe it's better to file the I-824 because, and you've already filed it. It's already seems may have been approved. So that's something to do. It's how much detail I want to go into this, right? It still gets complicated. When you have a green card and you do an I-130, it takes like almost 2 years to get the I-130 approved. So it's not the first thing I would think of is to file an I-130 in this case. However, I have a case similar to yours, EB2 with spouse. We filed an I-824 and we're filing an I-130 to be safe. They were willing to pay the fees for it and the costs. I said, okay, let's do it. So what I do is, if you could afford it, yeah, do both. Have an I-824 going, have an I-130 going, have it all, see who happens first. Because I-824, even if it's approved, you get approval notice that says we got your I-140, we're going to send it to the National Visa Center. I've had several times where they just don't do it. They tell you they'll do it, but they don't do it. And then you call them every 30 days for 4 or 5 months, and then they finally do it. And I had a colleague say they had to sue them after 1 year waiting on this. So it's a really bad system, the I-824, really inconsistent, very time consuming. So if you already submitted, it's good. If you want to be safe, I mean not safe, but have a plan B, yeah, do the I-130. Shouldn't be needed. The I-130 is probably going to take too long. But if you don't mind paying extra money and you want to have all your bases covered, yeah, do that. And I have a client actually doing that right now just to be safe. Because one thing that it is with the way the embassies are so backed up right now, they made a priority level of which cases get interviewed first. I'm slowing down because my throat's losing it. And so, like, marriage cases are first, and like fiancés and parents of U.S. citizens, that kind of stuff. The spouse of a green card holder, a person who got the green card through employment base, is not considered a marriage case. It's still considered an employment case. Your spouse is going to get like an I-22 visa, employment base, spouse of a dependent of an employment base. So in the categories of the consular embassies of priority, you're going to be an employment-based case, which is lowest priority, it's close to the lowest, whereas an I-130, even if it's an I-130 for a green card holder, is going to be a family-based marriage, which is on a higher end. So the I-130 approval will take longer, but you may get your embassy appointment sooner. So it's hard to say which is better, which is not. It's just like, yeah, if you want to spend more money and you want to cover all your bases, file the I-130. That's the long and short of it. The I-824 system is very unreliable. I hope I covered the whole thing and that was helpful. But thanks for your question. It's a very important one because I have to deal with them more and more. Thank you for watching this educational program. To get the latest videos, click the subscribe button and the notification bell icon. Also, help us help the immigrant community by liking this video and sharing it with your family and friends. You can also find us on other social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, and Twitter, where you find the latest updates on immigration news, policy changes, and tips. Be safe and God bless. See you soon.